we're going to learn about something new, about something fascinating. However, I want you to stand first so that we can acknowledge the presence of God. Everyone stand! That's great. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for this day. Amen. Okay, settle down, everyone. Once again, good day, class. Good day, teacher. So today, we're going to talk about something that is really important, something that is really fascinating, and that is the water cycle. But before we dive in, I want to ask a few questions to see what you already know. Have you watched water evaporate from a puddle? No. Yeah. And can anyone tell me what happens with the water after it rains? Wala pa, muna malusa. We're going to talk about that later. What do you think happens to the water in the ocean? Let's see if we can connect some dots. But before that, let me present to you our learning objectives. What we expect from you students to learn from this entire lesson. Okay, so we have described the 4 stages of the water cycle: the evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. And of course, describe it using your own words. And second, we have identified the key features of each stage of the water cycle and explain how water moves through the cycle and how it is continually recycled in nature. Anymore. Let me present to you our water cycle diagram. Now, children, what have you observed in our diagram? You see sun, there's a cloud, there's a river, there's a rain, yes, there's a man. So class, with the sun, here iniitan ang river. Here iniitan sa river sa ocean. Once mainit ang pagtawag sa pag-init isa sa ocean, sa rivers, and the different bodies of water, that is what we call as evaporation. There we go, that's evaporation. And when init na si river o si ocean, lusahan siya. Nari singaw, kung sa kwanta, diba? Singaw, ang kanang singaw, itawag natin water vapor. That's water vapor. Once lusahan si water vapor, ma-form siya into clouds. Good, ma-form siya into clouds. And that is what we call as condensation. Very good, condensation. Once si cloud, mabukatan mo siya kaman. Hindi lang si clouds. Mga si may ako. Rain. Bulati. Sobrang siya kung ba't siya ibang tabak na ng mga water vapor na iyang nakulit. Ang process, hindi tawag mo precipitation. Very good. Precipitation. Once ni ulan, kung sinita ko sa water, diba? I asked you earlier, what happens to water after it rains? Bali na siya. Sa bubbles. Rivers and the bodies of water, and that is what we call as collection. The cycle is continuous. Magpadali na siya. Do you get it, student? Yes, teacher. Now, to test. Take a few minutes to see what we've learned. Let's have a short quiz, everyone. See what one of pencil, papers, okay? Don't worry, short na siya, very short. Up to 5 minutes siya. Kani here. Dito na lang niliisuwa. Okay, number 1. What is the process by which water changes from liquid to gas and rises into the sky? Number 2. Which of the following is not a form of precipitation? Number 3. Where does water go after precipitation? Okay, and number 4. Which stage of the water cycle involves water falling back to earth in the form of rain, snow, or hail? And the last question. Why is water cycle important for us living beings in earth? Okay? Now, let's hold on, everyone. Okay, so pass it here to me. The other side. Wow! Katong gid ako mga bata. Okay, now I'm going to give you an assignment or a project. What you're going to do, children, is you're going to create a water cycle model. 3D, ha? Don't worry, everyone, because I will give you an amount of time. Dito ko talaga dito. Any questions regarding the project? None?
For today, we're going to learn more about the water cycle. But before that, have you ever wondered what happens to a puddle on a sunny day? Or how rain gets into the clouds?
No.
So today, you're going to discover the answers to these questions and more. So remember, you already learned about the different stages of the water cycle. What are those again?
Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection.
Yes, those are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. So can anyone please tell me what happens during evaporation? Yes, Steph?
When the water vapor rises, collection and
Yes, that's right. So evaporation is when water turns into vapor and goes up into the air. Now, let's see how will you remember the other stages. So I'm going to say a word and I'm going also to show you a picture of that word and you will tell me which stage of the water cycle it is. So the first word, or the first picture is rain. So which stage do you think it is? Yes?
precipitation.
That's right, precipitation. So now let's proceed to the second picture. So the second picture is clouds. Yes?
Condensation.
Very good, condensation. So the third picture is sun. Yes, Kyla?
Evaporation, teacher.
Yes, that's right, evaporation. And the fourth one is rivers. Yes,
Collection.
very good. That's great collection. So great job remembering everyone. So now let's explore these stages in more detail. So someone explain how condensation works. So condensation is when water vapor in the air cools down and turns back into liquid water forming into clouds. Yes, now I'm going to show you a very simple diagram of the water cycle. And all you have to do is to label each stage. Very good, everyone. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Okay, so now that we understand the water cycle, let's see how we will be able to apply this knowledge. So imagine class. Imagine you see a dark, stormy cloud in the sky. So what kind of weather would you expect?
Stormy.
Yes, exactly. So it's probably going to rain or there's a storm. So now let's do a super quick experiment. So I have a cup of water and a mirror. So what I'm going to do is that this mirror, I'm going to hold this over the cup of warm water for a few seconds. Okay, so now, what do you see in the mirror?
It's moist. It's moist.
Yes, there's moist or water droplets. What do you think there are water droplets? There are water droplets because the warm water turned into vapor, then cooled down onto the mirror to form the droplets. So this is like how clouds form in the sky. So now to proceed, I assume that you already learned about the different types of precipitation. So there are rain, snow, and hail. So can anyone explain why we get different types of precipitation? Okay, so we have different types of precipitation because it depends on the air temperature. So if it's really cold, the water turns into snow or hail. So now, let's look at this diagram of the water cycle. So can you identify any ways that human activity might disrupt the water cycle? An example is pollution. So pollution can make the water dirty and cutting down trees also can stop the ground from soaking up the water. So to proceed, we all know that we need to protect our water resources, right?
Yes.
So what are some things that we can do to protect or to conserve the water?
The natural, our process.
Yes, that's right. Those are all great ideas. We can conserve water by not wasting it. So now let's think about ways to manage water. So, like for example, what are the pros and cons of building a dam? So the pros is that dams can help make electricity and also stop the floods. But they can also harm like animals, plants, and sometimes cause less water to be available. So now, let's get creative. Okay, so you will work into groups. So this is the group 1 and this is the group 2. So you're going to draw a water cycle and make sure to include all the different stages of the water cycle and show how they connect. So after that, you're going to write a very short message about water conservation. So you're going to use your understanding of the water cycle to encourage people to save water. So can you please show your drawing here in front? Okay, yes, that's right. Very good. So, wow, you all did a very fantastic job today. So now you may now take your seats. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so you learned so much about the water cycle and how it works for today, right?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, we even explored how humans can impact it and how we can conserve the water. So remember everyone, the water cycle is a vital part of our planet. We all have a role to play in protecting it. So that's it. Class, let's have an activity. I have here container of water. We had water. Now, isa po yung nakita. What process is this? Yes, it's evaporating. And then, one of hand is about what process is this? Water droplets are forming. Na yung mga droplets na nakita din sa atong nest. Okay, now, ipunta na po ang warm water and ice kung saan may mo. Yes. The water before, yes, is cooling. And then, ibalik mo ko ang water. Then, sa container. Tanawa, ang sa siya.
Giraso.
Yes. Now, kung sa kayo mga processes,
Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection.
yeah, that's collection. Now, let's have a role play. Let's act out the water cycle. Okay?
Yes.
So each group will take turns demonstrating their part of the cycle while the other groups observe. Let's see how the water cycle works. Okay?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So now I have here the diagram of the water cycle. So each part has its label. If I'm going to ask you what process is this, what process is this?
Evaporation,
This one?
condensation, precipitation, collection.
Collection. So evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Now, when anyone explain how each part connects to the hands-on activity and role play we just did. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, get your paper and pencil and draw your own diagram and take each part and explain it in your own words. Now pass your paper and your drawings. Okay. Today we're going to learn about the water cycle. So I think you know or you already have an idea what water cycle is. Diba? There are 4 stages in water cycle. What are those stages?
Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and
That is right. So now let's go first to the first stage, which is the evaporation. Evaporation is a process where liquid water changes into water vapor and rises into the atmosphere. So that is the first stage in water cycle. So next stage is the condensation. So condensation is when the water vapor rises, it cools down and changes back into the liquid water droplets, forming a cloud. So as you can see here in the picture, now so water vapor rise and form into water droplets. So next is the precipitation. So coming stage is when the water droplets pull up na siya sa clouds. Then it's time na nagpupuduan naman siya. Then nangyayari fall back to the ground. So the last stage is the collection. So kaya natin kung bumalik ang mga water droplets, bumalik na siya siya sa rivers, oceans, or any bodies of water here sa ating planet. The 4 stages in water cycle.
evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection.
Okay, so now I have here questions presented. And do you have your paper and pencils?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so I have your questions presented, and you are going to answer the question. But don't worry if you don't get the answer because this site or link that I have used is going to reveal the correct answer to you. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to answer the 10 questions I have provided for you. Okay, the time starts now. Okay? Thank you. Very good because almost all of you got the perfect scores. So now you are going to create or draw a water cycle. So please use this drawing paper that I'm going to provide you to draw the water cycle. So, after you draw sa water cycle, you should label it and color it also. You'll be given 5 minutes to draw and label the water cycle. Time's up. Please pass your papers, your drawings. Wow, I can see the teeth are
extra points for this and enough time for you to shoot or film your video explaining the water cycle.
So our topic for today is water cycle. We will explore how water moves through the cycle and we will use some fun tools to help us visualize this process. Let's start with an animation. First, let's learn about the four main stages of the water cycle. Ano ba natin ba? Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. So, evaporation happens when heat from the sun turns water from lakes, rivers, or oceans into water vapor, which rises into the air. Next is condensation. So, as the water vapor rises, it cools down and turns back into tiny droplets, forming clouds. Next is precipitation. So, when the clouds get too full of water droplets, they fall back to earth as rain, snow, sleet, or hail. This is called what? Precipitation. So the last stage is the collection. So after precipitation, the water collects in oceans, lakes, rivers, and the ground, where it can either evaporate again or be absorbed by lands. Now watch how water changes from liquid to gas and back to liquid again. As we go through these stages, now watch how water changes from liquid to gas and back to liquid again as we go through these stages. Now let's use a digital tool to create our own water cycle diagram. So we will use this whiteboard. Now, I will open the whiteboard and I will create a template for the water cycle diagram showing each stage, the evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. So your job is to add your drawings or text to describe what happens in each stage. And you can use the pen tool, text boxes, or even search for images online to help explain each part of the cycle. Now you have 5 minutes to add your thoughts or drawings to each stage of the water. So don't forget to explain each part clearly, okay? Yes, we have. Okay, very good. So let's take a look at what everyone has created. Now I will pull up the class contributions on the board so we can review together. Yes, very good. Now we use different kinds of technologies in learning the water cycle. Yes, teacher. Our lesson for today is all about water cycle. Okay, water cycle. So the definition of water cycle, class, is how the water moves around our planet. So it's really important for all the living things. I have to show first the learning objectives. So please read the number 1 objective up to number 3 objective. Identify and describe the 4 main stages of the water cycle: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Demonstrate an appreciation for the importance of the water cycle to life on Earth and express how to conserve water. Create a simple model of the water cycle using the materials provided, demonstrating and understanding the processes involved. Okay, very good. So that learning objectives will guide us at the end, during and at the end of this lesson to see if you guys really understood that lesson. So I have here a video. But this video has a question. So have you ever wondered where the rain comes from? Have you ever wondered that? Yes, then later on, that video that I've shown you will explain what is water cycle. I have a short video clip here to illustrate what is the process of water cycle. So please listen carefully. So we saw how water moves around in the video, right, class? Yes. Okay, show your thumbs up if you see the water moves around in the planet or what you saw in the video. Okay, very good. So but let's see if we can understand it even better by doing a little experiment. So what you learned in that video, you have to apply it here. You have to be engaged in my experiment. So I think all of you are divided now, or all of you will present here in front. So please come here in front, class. Okay. I have here a water container and a plastic wrap. Then we will just use my flashlight as our heat lamp. And there's also water inside. So as you watch the video, you will identify the different stages of the water cycle. So what do you think are the 4 main stages in the water cycle? Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Very good. So now Okay, very good. The water cycle is continuous. So I think that something summarizes what water cycle is. That's good. You all did a fantastic job of demonstrating the water cycle. Remember, this process is happening all around us all the time. So I have a picture here. So these are the importance of water cycle. It will provide us fresh water. It will provide us for our planting plants, and it will also have effect to our planet when it comes to weathers and also the atmosphere of the Earth. So I have an assignment. Just if you are really getting the point of this lesson. Okay, so the assignment is you will describe the process, like the four phases or the stages of water cycle and its role. So you draw a poster making activity. So that's all for today, class. I hope you learned something today.
Imagine a forest that used to be lush and green, and now it's mostly bare. So how do you think this change would affect the water cycle?
I think the conversation teacher.
Yes, that's great. That's great. So let's explore on how deforestation impacts the water cycle. So for deforestation disrupts the water cycle by reducing transpiration and evaporation. So leading to less atmospheric moisture and decreased rainfall. So without trees to absorb the rainfall and the rainwater, runoff increases on soil erosion and impacting groundwater recharge. So this ultimately leads to a drier, more vulnerable environment prone to droughts and other negative consequences. Now let's see the water cycle in action. So I have here a glass and cold water. So if isuot ako ang cold water, the answer clear glass, kung sa iyong answer. Okay, so na-apply? Oh, yes, national droplets is glass. And now, so ang tawag is condensation. So the water vapor in the air cools down when it touches the cold glass and changes back into liquid water. So this is one part of the water cycle. And now, class, so based on the different stages of the water cycle that we've learned you are going to make a short jingle highlighting the main concept of each stage. So I will just give you 5 minutes to do the activity, and present is here at the top. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now, so how does the water cycle connect to other subjects? So in social studies, we talk about how people need clean water and pollution can make it unsafe. Okay, so that's a lot to think about, wasn't it? We learned how deforestation can impact the water cycle and how water changes states from one place to another. And how Okay, so the water cycle is a vital part of our planet, and it's important to understand how can we protect it. So how can we protect it? That's great. So we can do all smart work by conserving water, reducing pollution, and supporting efforts to protect forests. So remember, every little bit counts. So now, I want you to think about what you have learned today and share your thoughts with your classmates and what surprised you or what questions do you still have.
So good day, everyone.
Good day, teacher.
So here, I have a question. Imagine a raindrop falling from the sky. Where do you think it came from? Then, and where will it go? Okay, very good. So today, we are going to know the amazing journey of water. It's called the water cycle. But before that, we have here the learning objectives. So after this lesson, learners are expected to identify the 4 main stages of water cycle. Then, the students are expected to explain how water cycle formed during the stages. And lastly, learners are expected to give examples of how water cycle affects their lives. So after that, we can now proceed. So think back to what you know about water. What are some ways water exists in your life? Very good. So we have ocean, rivers, and lakes. So remember, water can be a liquid, a solid or ice, then a gas or water. This is important for understanding the water cycle. What is evaporation. So when we say evaporation, it is when the liquid water changes into water vapor, a gas, and it rises through the air. Can you explain what happens to the water vapor in the air? What happens when the water vapor cools down? That's right. When the water vapor cools down, it condenses back into the water droplets and forms clouds. We call this stage as condensation. Now, what happens when the water droplets in the clouds get too heavy? Saan gawin ako mo? Very good, that's right. Ano siya? Rain. So the water falls back to earth as precipitation, which includes rain, snow, sleet, and hail. This water then flows into our rivers, lakes, and ocean, and then the cycle starts all over again.